warned not to camp near the abandoned tracks. That's the ghost train's line. An old man had told them, his voice a dry whisper. But they were young, and they didn't believe in peasant superstitions. Sound of a crackling campfire. Suddenly, the train sounds grow louder, closer. A faint, ethereal blue light begins to fill the screen. They heard the whistle first, a mournful cry that didn't seem to echo. Then came the light, cold and blue, painting the skeletal trees in shades of winter. The train that thundered past their campsite was completely silent, its carriages filled with the pale, screaming faces of the dead. They didn't know it then, but they had just witnessed a secret Russia had tried to bury for a century, a secret carried forever by a ghost train. That chilling scene isn't from some old book of folklore. It's a story that has started to whisper through the forgotten corners of the internet, a modern piece of viral mythology known as the ghost train of Batskaya. You won't find any official record of this phantom train, no mention of it in historical archives. It's a digital ghost, a story born for our time, and yet it feels ancient. The legend captivated Dr. Anya Petrova, a folklorist who saw the echoes of 100 other tales within it. She became obsessed, not with finding a real ghost, but with a much deeper question. Why do we create stories like this? And what terrifying truths about our own history do they help us face? Her investigation into this fictional legend would lead her down a path toward a horrifying secret, one that, while imagined, represents a very real darkness from our past. So, is a ghost train a uniquely Russian idea? Not at all. It's a global phenomenon. In St. Louis, Saskatchewan, people report strange lights on tracks that were torn up long ago, believed to be the lantern of a railway worker killed in a grisly accident. In the United States, Abraham Lincoln's funeral train is said to endlessly repeat its mournful route every April, the spectral echo of a nation's grief. These stories are so powerful because they link our supernatural fears to real places and historical events. The Batskaya legend fits perfectly into Russia's own rich tradition of ghost lore. When the Trans-Siberian Railway first cut its way through the vast wilderness, many rural communities didn't see a symbol of progress. They saw a demonic beast breathing fire and smoke. This fear of new technology mixing with old superstitions is a common thread in ghost train tales all over the world. Even in the heart of modern Russia, these stories persist. The Moscow metro is filled with urban legends of phantom trains. One story tells of a semi-transparent train that glides into stations late at night, its doors opening for no one, believed to carry the souls of the dead. Other tales speak of Metro 2, a rumored secret subway system built for the elite during Stalin's era, its tunnels now supposedly haunted by shadowy figures. So while the ghost train of Batskaya might be a new invention, it's built from very old and very real fears. It's a vessel for our anxieties about industrialization, forgotten tragedies, and the vast, lonely landscapes of the Russian expanse. The legend describes a train that appears only on the coldest nights, on a stretch of dead track in the middle of nowhere. Its carriages are filled with the silent, agonized faces of people from another time, trapped forever on their final journey. But why are they there? The story that Petrova pieced together offered a truly horrifying answer. Following the digital breadcrumbs of the Batskaya legend, our historian Anya Petrova learned that the most compelling horror stories aren't just fantasy. They're grounded in some kernel of terrifying truth. The online storytellers who built this myth wove in details that felt chillingly plausible. Pulling from the darkest chapters of 20th century history, the heart of the legend is a specific date, 1928. It talks about a remote industrial settlement deep in the Batskaya region, a place you won't find on any map today. This settlement was supposedly part of a secret operation, one so deep it was wiped from all official records. The viral story gave it a name, Project Morok. Morok is an old Russian word for a profound, supernatural darkness, a gloom that plays tricks on the mind. According to the story, Project Morok was an early, aggressive Soviet program to develop advanced chemical weapons. Far from prying eyes, Scientists worked in a crudely built facility under frantic pressure to get results. The legend claims that during one brutal winter, it all went wrong. A containment vessel failed, releasing a highly volatile neurotoxin into the complex. The gas was silent and invisible. There was no explosion. It simply flooded the barracks, the labs, and the railway depot where a train was being loaded. The story details a horrifying silent death. Workers and their families died in moments, their lungs crystallizing, their faces frozen in expressions of pure shock and agony. The Soviet state, terrified of its forbidden weapons program being exposed, couldn't admit the disaster ever happened. This is why the legend gets truly sinister. It claims a special unit was sent in not to rescue, but to erase. To contain the story, they sealed the entire valley. But they still had to get rid of the evidence. Hundreds of bodies, flash frozen by the chemical agent and the unforgiving winter. The story goes that soldiers in primitive hazmat suits loaded the dead onto the waiting train. They packed the carriages with the victims, their eyes wide open, their skin dusted with a strange crystalline frost. The train, with its ghastly cargo, was sent down a track leading to a deep, abandoned tunnel system in the mountains. The plan was simple: drive the train into the tunnel, dynamite the entrance, and bury the secret forever. But the story claims the engineer, either overcome with horror or exposed to the toxin himself, never stopped the train. He drove it deep into the earth as the explosives went off, entombing the engine and its silent passengers in a mountain of rock and ice. This is the deadly secret the ghost train carries. It isn't a train of spirits in the traditional sense. It's a physical tomb, reappearing as a spectral echo, forever repeating its final doomed journey. The faces in its windows aren't ghosts. They are the psychic imprint of the dead, a horrifying memory replaying itself on the landscape where they were forgotten. And while Project Morok is a fictional part of an online tale, it taps into a very real history of state-sponsored cover-ups and industrial disasters that have scarred the 20th century. Stories like these, where history and horror collide, are what we love to explore. They reveal so much about our deepest fears and the secrets we suspect are still out there, buried. If you agree and you want to join us on our next journey into the strange and mysterious, consider subscribing to our channel so you don't miss what's coming. So, the ghost train of Botskaya isn't a real phantom haunting the Russian wilderness. It's something much more modern and maybe more important. It is a piece of digital folklore created by anonymous storytellers online. Yet its power is undeniable. The tale feels true because it's built on a foundation of real-world horror. The idea of a government sacrificing its own people to hide a dark secret is hardly fantasy. The 20th century is filled with unaccountable tragedies, from industrial accidents to wartime atrocities where the dead were never named and their stories were never told. Legends like the Botskaya ghost train are a kind of collective memory. They give a name to the nameless and a face to the forgotten. The spectral train isn't real, but the historical trauma it represents absolutely is. It's a monument made of chilling words and digital whispers, a memorial to all the secrets buried in unmarked graves and sealed tunnels. It serves as a haunting reminder that while governments can try to erase the past, the ghosts of history always find a way to keep rolling down the tracks. And it leaves us with one final chilling question. How many other ghost trains are out there, carrying secrets we're not yet ready to uncover?